All right, we're going to make this as quick as we can. Take some questions. I'm going to ask those presidents and CEOs of their respective, Kenny, Dr. Linder, Todd, I want to come up to the front real quick. Dr. Rodrigo, almost called you doctor again. And this is for the youth in the room as well as the adults. This is one of the first times, Dr. Poor, I know she's here, Dr. Poor. We just want to take a moment and give you an opportunity. All of these leaders and others have committed to being a part of an ongoing collaborative to make sure that the issues that have come up over and over again are being addressed. You see that there are some things, the mental health piece that was heard. You heard Kenny on the growth of behavioral health work that he's doing with his team. The 24th and Coming location, the ideas for that as far as what should be in that came from meetings like this. So you have an opportunity now with at least 5 of the key leaders around health in this community. Let's take a quick moment and take a few questions and get a little Q&A before we get into the rest of the dialogue.
Hi, my name is Alicia Shelton, and I'm a mental health therapist. I work in Winnebago, Nebraska. I live in Omaha. And so we have been seeing a really big increase in youth with suicidal thoughts, with plans, and we have really struggled trying to find inpatient facilities for them to go to. I am familiar with CHI. I know that you have some facilities with Emmanuel, right? I'm familiar in Council Bluffs with Methodist and this facility there, Julie Edmondson. But I'm curious if anyone is having conversation, if you're seeing this in your ER, if there is conversation about facilities or partnering with programs to build something that will sustain the youth when they have these thoughts.
So we have multiple behavioral health facilities within CHI Health. We also have integrated behavioral health in the majority of our primary care locations that are specifically focused on taking care of not only adults but the pediatric patients as well. But to your point, there are a lot of discussions going on in the community right now around what type of resources are needed, especially for pediatrics. I know we have plans up at the Emmanuel location eventually for a pediatric facility itself. But really, that has got to be something that all of us are looking to for the future of Omaha's health, especially around behavioral health and behavioral health facilities. I'll pass it on to my colleagues.
Yeah, Jim Linder here. You make a really good point, and the need is today. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of discussions. There's regular meetings between individuals at Lasting Hope, at CHI, Nebraska Medicine, the individuals at Methodist, about how we deal with the entire continuum of care for people with behavioral health needs. Ideally, you could have that care available early so you don't have a situation where you have to have inpatient hospital beds. And that's why I think we have to really get fundamentally into the community and engage all healthcare providers in a team fashion, because this is not one thing to any one health system and all in common. You really have to work together. But and it affects the entire state. You relate your experience in upstate Nebraska. There's a lot of behavioral health services that are now delivered by telehealth because of lack of providers in those areas, and those need to be increased.
Okay, maybe one more response and then we'll move to the next question.
Dr. Linder kind of hit on it. So we are dealing with a workforce challenge. And so one of the areas is looking at how do we create better environments for community connectedness and management in the community. The other aspect is just policy. And so what areas and where we can make some changes to make adjustments in policy that will make access and the ability to have continuity of care more favorable for the population.
All right, question here?
Principally, the only one that dealt with the issue of geographics, applying in Northeast Omaha with CHI. With 2 extremely high poverty ratios of East Omaha, Carter Lake, and North Omaha, that should affect any types of insurance and other kind of things, which would have drained on services. What is your situation with that, having to fill both of those big, heavy voids with lack of money? And the other is, how do each one of you communicate your services to that geographical area?
Everybody get the question?
So I'll take it from a Charles Drew Health Center perspective first. So we served over 15,000 patients last year. Of those 15,000 patients, 77% of them were 100% below poverty. So that means that for all intents and purposes, they were uninsured. And so we filled the gap to make sure that they got quality primary health care services. And so for us, for those that are uninsured, every patient that we have is eligible for a sliding fee scale. But to the extent in which they're not able to meet those obligations with the sliding fee scale, we do not terminate them. So a big part of our work is just trying to get out there, speaking with philanthropy, leveraging the dollars that we have in the federal government, working with policymakers. Actually, I'll be in Lincoln next week to talk about the healthcare cash fund, because that's one area in which we get resources from the state to make sure that we have a solvency within that fund to help make sure community health centers are getting the support they need on the ground. So for us, we've been limited in the space, and we just continue to keep doing the work and doing the work regardless of whatever financial drain has had on the organization. However, it requires a system. And so much of this has to be about how well we're connecting with each other, doing everything we can to improve the health literacy of the population, moving from a sick care system to a health maintenance and prevention system. And it's going to require all of us up here to roll up our sleeves and continue to keep doing the work. So that's from our end.
How do you communicate your services? How do you get your word out?
So for us, we're out on the street. You see us here. We have staff that communicate the services. Social media will use that. We show up and we show out. And so, again, I would dare to say that a lot of the people that know North Omaha know that we've been in this community since 1983. But the way that we go about communicating that is making sure people are out there in the community, our staff are present. As I indicated before, very often, not too often, that you actually get a family physician present. You got Dr. Derek Anderson right there, certain patients here that we have. So a big part of our work is leveraging social media, showing up to community events, making sure that our patients are getting the services that they need, but more importantly, our patients advocating on how they're being treated with the services that Charles was.
So first of all, we are throughout the community. We have clinics in every area of the greater Omaha area. We have some close to 700,000 pediatric visits every year, of which if you look at our revenue, some 47% are covered through Medicaid. So the Medicaid expansion that we heard about this morning is an important element to continue to provide pediatric care throughout our community. We are adding a significant number of specialists to our medical staff. That's going to help us provide specialty care throughout our community, and we're going to continue to partner with other medical service providers and to continue to serve the children in our community.
How do you communicate your services to the community?
We advertise. In fact, we're going to ramp up our marketing efforts to make sure that the entire region knows about all of the specialties in which we are active.
Which ones do you use presently? Which mechanisms do you use presently to market to this community?
We use the same marketing efforts across the community, but we're beginning to look at how to use specific advertising channels to make sure that everyone, everywhere, knows about what we're doing.
I know, is it Councilman Gray? You have a question?
Yeah, as it relates to the social determinants of health, among those, among those are the critical need for safe, healthy, affordable housing. Is there an effort underway on the part of all of you, collectively or individually, to address the issues of affordable housing in our community, especially with Medicaid expansion and other things where we may have some additional resources to address this very critical need? Wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, let me start with that. Personally, I have been my entire career involved in affordable housing. It is not something that a healthcare institution like Children's Hospital would be involved in, other than providing housing for family members of patients in our hospital. But you are totally correct that we need a lot of affordable housing, and it's something that as a community we have to address.
Nebraska Medicine is not involved in directly creating housing, but we are actively looking at creating alternative care situations so that if somebody has been in the hospital and they don't have a home to go to, we could provide some place where they could spend some time recuperating under appropriate care. The other thing we're looking at relative to moving people out of the hospital is having aspects of home monitoring and being able for providers to interact with the person in the home without the person actually coming to the hospital. But you're right, Councilman, this is a critical issue.
I think we're really looking at it from a partnership mentality of how can we partner with community resources that can really focus on the affordable housing. So, for instance, our partnership with Together, where we're looking at the homelessness piece, but across the spectrum, how can we work with local agencies that can really get out to the community where we as a traditional healthcare system can't necessarily, don't have the reach and don't have the experience to get to that point.
All right, I know we could spend more time on this, but we have a couple of other presenters to close out, and we also want to make sure that everyone in here, youth included, has an opportunity to engage with our partners and get some information that can be shared. I see a couple hands. Is that me? There's a couple, have to be quick, questions. And then we're going to take a quick minute after this, let you hit the tables, and then we'll come back with a couple of presentations. But one of the things I want to make sure are really clear, all of the individuals up here, many of us have been working together for 13, 14 years, others we just met today, but all of them on a one-on-one basis have committed to being a part of the ongoing solution and being at the table so that we can fully close these gaps. There's been progress, but there are still some serious gaps that need to be addressed. Medicaid is one of the tools, increasing access is one of the things, but we need that commitment from all of the institutions to stay collectively together on this, and we'll be hearing more from all of us. So let's recognize the leaders that are committed to being a part of this moving forward. So thank you all so much. Stay there for just a second. A couple more quick questions, very quick. Everybody be quick, then we gotta move.
Okay, here's the question. All these high school students out here, you said that's STEM for STEM. Do you guys have any programs that they can get into over the summer, during the school years, and recruit them so they can become doctors and researchers?
So we partner with the Step Up program to take interns every summer, but we also have additional jobs, additional openings pretty much throughout the year that we're always willing to talk to students about opportunities, and if they just want to come shadow for a day, pretty much any of our facilities, they can do that. If they want any more information, just reach out to me.
The answer is yes. A lot of that is done through the University of Nebraska Medical Center, which is our primary education partner. We have people in the high schools year round, and we want to create opportunities for people to see what a great career can be.
And we do as well. So we partner with Step Up. Also, we have shadowing opportunities for young people to come and spend time with our clinicians and even look behind the scenes. I think so much of healthcare goes beyond just the provision of care, logistics, technology, other areas that we can expose young people to. One of the things I would just add is that Ira Cohn is sitting over there with Noah. He has been doing this work, shout out to Ira, doing this work for a long time, and has been very intentional about making sure that young people have access to healthcare careers. So there's been a lot of things happening in the community. Obviously, we can be doing more, but just want to give tribute to Ira in relation to operating in that space.
It is a good question. There are great opportunities for our youth in healthcare careers across the entire spectrum. of positions in a health institution. We are very active, and in order to compete, to get the best and brightest, we're starting before high school. We work with entities like Avenue Scholars, for example, to make sure that we guide those individuals not only through high school, but ultimately higher education, so they can end up in our hospital.
Hello, my name is Dr. Asit Goswami. I actually trained at the CHI Florence Clinic, and it's so nice to hear leaders of our healthcare institution talking about being closer with our communities and keeping patients out of the hospital. This question is mainly for Dr. Linder. We talked about social determinants of health. We're excited for UNMC to have this $2.6 billion building to come in to work on high-risk biological and chemical hazards. Senator Justin Wayne, the last time this group met, discussed how this project will not directly benefit North and South Omaha, and he called for economic equity through this project. And so he was asking to see if UNMC would be willing to, as far as that $2.3 billion project, have 30% of the contracts go to Black, brown, and women-owned businesses. And I just wanted to hear your response or any thoughts to that.
Thank you.
It's a very large project. Much of it replaces existing hospital facilities at Nebraska Medicine, and it is a UNMC project. And I know that as recently as last week, the individuals at UNMC were discussing this with Senator Wayne in terms of how the right balance can be struck. It's entirely, would be my personal goal, that every dollar that's spent in building that facility is spent on Nebraska-based businesses. And whether that's a business that is owned ideally by people who are building their business, people of color, or whether it's an employer that provides jobs in an equitable fashion to people of color in the community, I think that has to be the goal.
You can answer the question.
All right, I'm Dr. Derek Anderson. I work at Charles Street Health Center. And as far as the marketing of what we do, look forward to seeing me at your churches, at your high schools, at your community events, because that's the way to market what I do and what my passion is. And so I have a passion for the young people and getting them into medicine, because our workforce needs diversity. And so the only way I can get to you is if you come to my office or I come out to you in your schools. And we have to take advantage of our church resources as well. So in the coming year, we are making some plans to get me out there to you. So that is the way I foresee some of the marketing. I'm already doing service stuff because I want to be out there. I want to be out of my office. I want to promote what we do. I want to be familiar with the services that we offer so that when I meet with you, I can talk about those services.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. One more time, let's thank our panel and all of the leaders that are here. Thank you all. We're going to take 5 minutes. 5 minutes, hold on just a minute. This is what we need to do. We have 3 more very important updates, but I want to take a quick break to give you an opportunity to go over to the tables. We're going to hear from Ira Combs, who is a nationally recognized leader in community health. We're going to hear from Nancy Williams, who has been addressing food in our community, healthy foods in our community. And we also have Center for Holistic Development, who's been a partner around behavioral mental health for many years. They're here, they're going to help us close out. But I want to make sure our youth and adults, we want to get to the tables, get information from the folks that you can share with your parents, your guardians, your schools, and your community. 5 minutes, let's get to the tables, get information, and then come right back, and we'll close out with our final presentations. 5 minutes, let's go ahead and go. Also, introduce yourself. If you're looking for a job, you're interested in health, you want to meet Dr. Anderson, get around, meet somebody, introduce yourself. Let's go. 5 minutes. We're going to finish up with some community-based conversation with some of our leaders. Nancy, if you want to come forward at this time, Nancy Williams. Ira Combs and Ms. Berry from Center for Holistic Development. So let's make our way back to the tables. We'll close out.
How are you doing?
So let's bring up Ira Combs, Nancy Williams, and Ms. Berry for Center for Holistic Development. Okay, we need everyone back at the tables, please. Back to the tables. Let's come back to the tables. We want to close out with 3 of our strategic partners. Let's take a quick break at the tables, please. You'll have a chance to meet with them afterwards. All of our students, let's come on back to the tables.
Hi, how you doing? Good.
And our partners as well. All right, so we have with us, we're very honored, we have a healthcare professional that's been recognized nationally for his innovative work, specifically working with youth and teens, developing the next workforce in the healthcare industry. Let's give our own welcome to Ira Combs from NOAA. Let's welcome Ira Combs.
And good morning. Oh, you're going to leave me hanging? Good morning. Thank you. We got it. What we needed to know, right? There we go with the splash. My name is Ira Combs. I'm the director of North Omaha Area NOAA Inc. And did all those executives leave? Nope. There's one. Anyway, I was going to say, I retired from the university about 3 years ago, and before that, I worked at UNMC, and I worked at Creighton as a nurse. And 10 years ago, I was kind of disappointed in what was going on in Omaha, because especially in my community, there were people that were sick and dying, and to me, it looked like nobody was doing anything there. And so what I did was, I started a program, NOAA, North Omaha Area Health. This is how we do it. It's the name of the presentation. I'll go through some of these pretty fast. Okay. What we do. Basically what we do is we offer services, and we also train. Because one thing I noticed when I was a kid, that was years and years ago, I could walk to my doctor's office, and in North Omaha, can anyone tell me how many black doctors you think we had in Omaha? No, when I was a kid. We had about 6 or 7 that all lived in North Omaha. And when they died, no one replaced them. And so we were relegated to run into St. Joe's or whatever. I am. Clinic services we offer. Okay. We offer reproductive health for teens and young adults. And basically, does anyone here in this room not know what a condom is? Ooh, we got real quiet. I've been told, we're a church, or not a church, we're a ministry. And when I tell people that we give out condoms at our clinic, you know the first thing old people say? If you give them a condom, they're going to have sex. Well, what they don't know is, yeah, finish the statement, okay. So what we do is we want to normalize that conversation. I told my kids, my grandkids, even my great-grandkids now, man, I'd like you to wait till you're married. But you know, in the reality of the world today, that's not what happens. And I'd much rather you have a planned pregnancy and not catch a viral disease you can't get rid of. So, reproductive health. And all of our services are free. Free condoms, free testing. We have point-of-care tests where you can come to my clinic, I can stick your finger, put it in a machine, and tell you if you've been exposed to HIV. Right there in front of you. Same with blood pressure, blood sugar. Women's health services. We have a nurse practitioner that can actually write prescriptions for birth control. We're getting certified that we can actually insert IUDs and other birth control. We have men's health service. We have a new program called we have a men's reproductive health specialist. And essentially, we get a group of guys together and they talk about things that sometimes they're too embarrassed to talk about in their group, or don't want to talk about because they're ashamed that they don't know. Point of care testing that I talked about, you don't have to wait a week to get the results. Some tests, results you can get right there. And when we test for STDs, it used to be that it was kind of a test where you had to stick a swab or something and all these other things. Now, for chlamydia and gonorrhea, all you have to do is pee in a cup. You can have your results in 2 or 3 days. We have it's called Eat Well, Live Well, and that's just a code name for a diet class. And we have young people and seniors in this class. This class has been going on for 3 years. It's every Thursday at 5:15. And even when it's snowing outside, our elderly customers saying, "I can make it in the snow, don't worry about me." Vaccinations, thanks to Methodist healthcare system. For the past 7 years, we've been giving 500 flu shots at our clinic. Transition care program, that's a program where if you had insurance and all of a sudden lost it, let's say you're on Medicaid and you turn 19, you lost your insurance. Transition care is that we will help you find a place, and in the meantime, you're on medication, you can never get medication. Say if you were recently incarcerated and you were in prison, well, they give you a week's worth of medicine and pick you out the door. Where do you go from there? And there are a lot of programs around. That was kind of primary health care in Charles Stewart, but you have to get connected first. Sports physicals, I think we did about 65 sports physicals at Benson this past year. And we do urgent care. Someone comes in and smash your finger, got an earache, or something like that. Our nurse practitioners are in the office and we can handle those calls. The science of what we do, and this will be quick, we take it to the street. It's public health. I think you guys heard a lot about public health with the norovirus. Myself, Mark Darby, Lucas Smith, our PhD, Shannon Smith, Masters in Health Education. We're out in the streets like today, right now. They are up at Clara Memorial, and it's happening in the church. What is public health? Preventing, promoting, and prolonging health. There's going to be a test on this. Healthcare is a partner in public health. Public health is population focus, preventing, health promotion, emphasis. Well, healthcare is basically taking care of the problem, diagnosing it. So there's a difference between public health and healthcare. What does one do? We raise public awareness. Just like Kitty said, we're in the street. We're out there. We have a group of employees that are called community health workers. And many of our community health workers look much like you guys. You're young adults, teenagers. And what we do is we teach them stuff. Because they can go places where I can never go. An example is, right here in this room, we have a program in the summer called Youth Expression Health. We were teaching teenage girls about prostate cancer. Everyone knows females don't have prostate. But the information she got, she went back, and her grandfather said, "I'm having a real hard time peeing, and it hurts." So she said to her grandfather, "You may have prostate cancer." So of course, Grandpa runs to the doctor. Didn't have prostate cancer, That's something called BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy, which is a large prostate. But she got that information to him. He heard it. He went to the doctor, and he got care. So, health information, even though people think it's not relevant, is relevant. Heart disease, 90,000 people in Nebraska have heart disease. We'll skip some of this. We teach CPR. No Free Clinic District provides opportunities for spiritual and compassionate health care to those in need. And anyone here, no matter what your age, if you have a concern, we have brochures over there. If you have a question about reproductive health, if you have a question about acne, if you have a question about mental health, if you need a place to start, we can help people, or we'll point you to someone that can. We'd like to also thank that's a medical desert. That's that. Some of our partners, Allison Health Project, Charles Drew, St. Louis Development, almost living there. Are you confident? The power of knowing. Go Free Clinic. Real final. See that guy there with the hat on and his arms crossed? He's one of our guys in our. This is 10 years ago. And his pants are sagging and he's got a grill. And I wasn't going to hire him, but I had no choice after a minute because nobody else wanted the job. That's 6 years later, he graduates from Metro as a paramedic. And that is last month. He's got a job as a paramedic, he's also an electrician. And he has a son and a daughter. There we go.
And what is the location for your services?
5620 Ames Avenue. If you know where Family Dollar is or Planet Fitness, we're on top of that building.
And what's the price for your services?
What's the price?
What's the price? Free. All right. Thank you, Honor Combs. Let's recognize one of the folks that's been recognized by President Obama's White House for the work on community health. We also have another partner here from Center for Holistic Development. And we want to hear from them because they have services. They've been serving this community for a very long time. Get that sheet that we've had you to make sure you take it home with you. Ms. Mary is a board member at Center for Holistic Development. Let's welcome her. Center for Holistic Development.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Michelle Berry, and Doris Moore, the CEO and founder, she was Doris, the CEO and founder, she had a prior engagement, so I'm here in her absence, so please work with me this morning. The Center for Holistic Development, it was incorporated back in 2001, so we're celebrating 19 years in June of this year. And our agency, it provides holistic behavioral services. And we're located right off of 66 in Sorensen, so right across the street from Emmanuel Hospital. And with our, what it means by holistic is that we look at the individual as a whole. And we look at it as through the spiritual, the physical, the emotional, the cultural, the intellectual, the social, and the love, the self-love, and the love for others. And we provide outpatient services for substance abuse, for bipolar, for the mental health, for bipolar, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, schizophrenia, and conduct disorders. And for substance abuse, we do provide evaluations. We also take evaluations for illegal substances as well as pharmaceutical abuse and addictions. So we do offer free behavioral screenings to determine risk for depression, bipolar, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorders, and for alcohol abuse. have our office phone number to where you can look those up too. And we're also throughout the community with our programs. We do have Real Talk that is offered at some of the middle schools here within the community. We do have our Open Bolt, which is building our leaders today. We also have our Kids Squad. What we do, we offer training to child care staff, and that works with encouraging social and emotional competence in children with challenging behaviors. We also have our parenting classes too, and that's just a brief synopsis of the services that we do within the community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Berry. Make sure, Ms. Nancy Williams, come on up. This is our last update. I want to make sure that everybody hears what she has to say. In addition to that, she took some time this morning to bring some samples, some food samples in the back. You'll have a chance to take a look at it and taste once her presentation is done. Nancy Williams is a pioneer. She's an innovator. She's a leader in this community. She saw a need that needed to be filled, and she jumped up at it, pulled people together to create one of the most innovative organizations anywhere in the country, and she's right here in North Omaha. Let's please welcome Nancy Williams. Come on, let's celebrate her.
Thank you, Willie. That's a lot of hype. I appreciate that. But everybody knows this is a collective effort. I'm just grateful and honored that I get the opportunity to lead this group. So we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to click through these things. So a couple of updates. We finished building or renovating the buildings in Florence at 8501 and 8503 North 30th Street. It's at the crossroad of 30th and Willett. It is the food hub. We were under construction from October 2015 until June 2019, but the building is finished and the cafe is open, the commercial kitchens are open, the kids' kitchen is open, and come spring, the rooftop will be open. So we do gardening education on the rooftop as well as events, and there are activities happening in the cafe every week. But thank you so much for your support. It's through some generous donors and a lot of individual donations from $1 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it takes all of us to make this work. So some of our programs, we have a lot of them, but I'm going to touch on a couple. One of them is called Community Harvest, and I brought some samples that's at the back table with the young lady with her orange hat is standing. So there's some butternut squash soup and a butternut squash burrito bowl with salsa and avocado cream. And there is quinoa salad back there for you to taste. We focus on local foods. So that butternut squash came from a local farmer within 50 miles of Omaha. And the black beans are also local. They came from a farmer in western Nebraska. We try to get as much local food as we can. The quinoa salad is a reclaimed salad from Costco. We partnered with Saving Grace Perishable Foods. How many folks know about Saving Grace? Oh, well, that's good. That's growing. We need more people to know about that. So really quickly, Saving Grace reclaims food from grocery stores and restaurants and events and redistributes it to nonprofits in the area to make sure that good food does not go to waste. We waste 40% of the food that we raise in this country and in this community. We have millions of pounds of food going to the landfill every year in this community. And Saving Grace tries to make sure that good food goes to people so that we can live better lives. And that quinoa salad is an example of something that would have been thrown away, but they gave it to us, and then we are redistributing it to the community. Sometimes we remake it into something else in our commercial kitchens. We also do nutrition education. We have a kids kitchen, so if you're between 6 to 18, you can come do some cooking classes. There were some of you who were in Step Up last year that came to know More Empty Pots. Raise your hand if you're in the room. I recognize a few of you. Awesome. Good to see the alumni. And we also have a workforce training program for folks who are unemployed or underemployed. It's 15 weeks. 10 weeks of hands-on cooking and classroom instruction. We partner with Metro Community College and their innovation division, as well as the Institute for Culinary Arts. We partner with Center for Holistic Development that provides case management for students. And we also partner with Wells Fargo, who helps to cover stipends, and Mutual of Omaha Foundation and First National Bank helps underwrite the cost. So the program is offered at no cost to students going through that program. You have to be at least 18 to enroll, but our average age is around 34. We provide all of the tools and resources, the knives and books, everything. We have a lot of community partners. I'm not going to list all of them, but the Kermit Network is one. We've got a whole bunch of them in this room today. And one of the things that we do more of than food is connect people to resources. And we know that we don't do this by ourselves, and we need partners to do that. So, Willie shared this with me and asked me to remind all of us what our barriers to access are around healthy food. The price, the time it takes to cook and prepare it, what it tastes like, access to transportation, and don't know how to cook it. I am very happy to say that we and our partners can help you with all of those things. The reason we focus on local and seasonal foods is because that is when food is usually at its highest nutrition levels and it is at its least cost. And when we buy the food locally, instead of going outside of our community or across the country to get it, we recirculate those dollars. So in Nebraska, there is a $4.4 billion fresh food market. That's from data available in 2010. It's bigger than that now. We are just approaching 10%. That's $400 million. If we double that, that's $800 million every year. And then if we put a multiplier on it, we're now talking about over $1 billion recirculating within Nebraska every year to help us build infrastructure and hire more people and pay living wages and support infrastructure for affordable housing and have better transportation. All of these things are connected. The time it takes to cook and prepare it with Community Harvest, we offer a program where you can get 2 prepared meals per week for everyone in your family. And we have ranges from paying for the full cost of it is up to $7 per meal, all the way at no cost. And if you use SNAP to pay for it, we have a partnership with Nebraska Extension where we use Double Up Food Bucks, and you get it at 50% of the cost. We want to remove that barrier of price, and so we have these options to make sure you get food. We do cooking demonstrations and can invite you into the kitchen as individuals, as friends, as families, as groups, and we will come to you if you don't want to come to us. I have things back here for you to taste, but we also can talk about how do you like to season your food and get you access to those things so that you can have to make it taste the way you want it to. And we are right on the bus line. We have a bike rack out front, and we are within walking distance of some communities, and we're close to the interstate. We also deliver food to locations that are central for people. So we are removing that as well. And then if you don't know how to cook it, we can teach you. And in some cases, if you are working 3 jobs and you're trying to raise kids and you're trying to support after-school activities and you're trying to take care of your auntie and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, you don't have time for all of that because you also need to reclaim some time for yourself. We got you. You can just come get the meals, heat them up, and eat them. And on Mondays at the cafe at 8501 North 30th Street, we have Pay What You Can happy hour from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. You come in and you get anything on the menu at whatever price you want to pay. And so if you have 50 cents and you want to contribute that, you get as much food as you want to have, and you can take food home with you. So I hope to see all of you. We're also adding reading time at Florence Public Library once a month as well. All right, I talked about our our current offerings, some of the things that we're doing, we still have some gaps. There is a lot of work to fill out this, and I don't have the time to go through all of that today, but I encourage you, if you're interested, we can come to you and talk about these things, or you can come to us and talk about these things. We have spaces where we can sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or some water and just talk about what is needed, how can we help, what are your pain points. Our purpose is to help solve the problems that exist and resolve pain points with the resources that we have access to and that we can connect you to. So, what's next? Spring and summer is coming, and so we're going to have a lot more activities going on. There are opportunities to grow and partner with community gardens in the community, so you'll see more of that. Providing more community education around nutrition and culinary access. We have the 10th cohort for the workforce training opens up, the application opens up next week. We have free birthday parties for kids who want to have birthday parties and the parent can't afford it. You can just apply, and we have a donor who's underwriting birthday parties. That's a lot, and I still didn't cover everything. But do you have any questions?
All right, one thing that you've heard from Nancy so far that caught your ear. Did anybody want a free birthday party? Or pay 50 cents for a meal and get a whole meal? Or find a job that you can prepare food at home for yourself or your parent or somebody else? All right. Any questions for Nancy? First of all, anybody, where is she located?
Florence, North 30th.
North 30th? 8501? And is she on a bus route?
Yeah.
So anybody can get to her?
Yeah.
All right. Let's recognize and thank Miss Williams, Nancy Williams. No more deposit. Get to know her. She has some food, some tasty food in the back. So you get a chance to test it out. Something maybe you haven't tried before. All right. We're getting ready to close out, but before we do that, of course, step up. You actually are moving into your career exploration, and you have a huge opportunity coming up very quickly for today. We've had a lot of good interaction. It doesn't stop today. We've been at this for 13 years. I want to thank all of our speakers, especially CEO of Charles Drew Health Center, Kenny McMorris, who's been a co-chair since the beginning of this. Let's recognize Kenny McMorris. She wasn't able to be here, but she's represented Doris Moore, the CEO of Center for Holistic Development. You'll be seeing and hearing more from them. Let's recognize Doris Moore and the Center for Holistic Development. You've heard from Nancy, you've heard from Ira. One of the goals today is that all the health systems, the large health systems and the small, coming together on one table to move things forward in North Omaha. We have those commitments. This won't be the last time that you see them here. We will hold each other accountable, and we will bring everybody back to the table with Kenny, with some of our other leaders. I want to again recognize Larry Duncan, who's doing work here in the community. Stand up, Larry, so people know who you are. Larry Duncan over here leads behavioral health for Charles Drew. And one more time, you will be seeing him at your schools. What's his name?
Derek Anderson.
Somebody say that, Dr. Anderson. Come on, let's hype him up. Dr. Anderson, come on, show him some love, y'all. All right. With that, any final questions? I'm seeing our voting is coming up. Chris, we need everybody registered to vote, mobilize. This is the year. We got to get people out to vote, and we also have census coming up. Want to make sure everybody's aware. We have to vote. Get your parents, your guardians, your grandmothers, everybody in your neighborhood. If you don't say anything else to them today, show them that sheet that has where they can get health services and tell them to vote and get ready to mobilize for the census. With that, if everybody would please stand up. Everybody please stand up. I want to recognize Miss Vicki Quates Ferris and our whole Empowerment Network team that's helped put this thing together every month. And before we go, everybody, these partners over here from Omaha Permaculture, U-Turn, and on down the line, they've dedicated a Saturday morning to be here with you to make sure you have the right information. We want you to go to those tables, get information that you can take home with you as soon as we close out. Ed Prayer. Did you have something? The next meeting in March is on violence prevention. Chief Smarter will be here. Scott Frakes from the statewide corrections will be here. This is an opportunity for those that are concerned about continuing to reduce gun violence, reducing the number of our folks that are in jails and prisons. You want to be here next month at that meeting so you can hear directly and provide your voice to Chief Smarter, Scott Frakes, and other leaders that will be here as well. With that, again, we need all of you to go to tables, get information. I appreciate you being here. Councilman Gray has been here. Thank you so much for being a leader and along with us the entire ride. Councilman Ben Gray. Let's close out. Father God, we thank you for this time. We thank you for every person that's under my voice in this room. We thank you for all the speakers and presenters. We thank you for the actions that is coming from this, the work that's already gone, and the gaps that were yet to close. We pray that the leaders in this community, we pray that the youth in our community will embrace this information and become champions in their own homes, their own neighborhoods, their own schools, that we will move together in collaboration. It is in your name that we pray. Somebody say amen.